Great Reset, where food is bugs, DNA is manipulated, pregnancy takes place in lab-grown artificial wombs, religion's banned, and Bill Gates owns all the farms, so all of your cattle is vaxxed. So it's basically like whether you want the vaccine or not, you're gonna take it indirectly anyway by consuming it. People are telling you bugs are good for you. Robert Downey Jr. was on a podcast and he's saying like he's on an all bug diet and he's not looking too great, by the way.
You all bug insects.
Insects.
Why is he eating insects?
Welcome back to the Digital Social Hour. I'm your host, Sean Kelly. I'm here with my co-host, Wayne Lewis.
What up, what up?
And our guest today, Nick Nanakos.
Good to be here.
How's it going, man?
Going well.
How you feeling?
Feeling good. Just got to Vegas yesterday, so enjoying it.
Man, you're pretty tan. Where do you live?
Yeah.
Texas.
Texas.
I mean, it's like the same temperature that it is here.
No,
way more
I just
humid.
left. I just left. It was 90 degrees, 87% humidity.
Jeez,
It's
so it's
very
like
humid.
Florida.
Yeah, it's way more humid.
Disgusting.
Florida's worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, that weather's disgusting.
Yeah, it gets bad.
Why did you
my
choose
goodness.
Texas?
Well, originally I'm from New York, so my whole family is in Dallas. I'm in Austin for the business, mainly for the business. But I actually love the warm weather. Like I don't mind the sun just beating on me for 6 hours. Like all about that.
I want to dive into your business. Could you tell us more about it?
Yeah. So I'm the CEO, founder, president of the food company. So the food company is the parent company. And basically we invent and operate the most creative concepts across farming, restaurants, and grocery at enormous scale for the masses. So we have a factory. From the factory, we manufacture these food pods with insane unit economics. The whole genesis of the company, the whole mission is really around the re-architecture of the toxic food system that's killing us. And so, we partner with the best local Texas farms. We only use grass-fed milks, grass-fed butters, grass-fed yogurts. We cook in animal-based ghee, no seed oils. Our first creation is Ziki, which is a Greek-Mexican fusion restaurant that uses no seed oils, no soy, no vegetable oils, no canola oils. So, yeah. And then we have a second concept getting ready to launch soon.
So that's probably the first fast casual restaurant without seed oils.
At this scale, yeah. I mean, there's a few local mom and pop businesses that are trying it, but nobody at the enormous scale.
Now, does it change the flavor of the food?
It makes it better.
Oh,
way
wow.
better.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why the brand is resonating so well with our customers in Austin. It's just like anything in butter generally tastes better. Like you could eat butter on chocolate, fruit, like anything.
Yeah.
How do you fry French fries in butter?
So we don't fry in butter.
Okay.
Everything is cooked in butter on the grills.
So it's on a grill.
It's on a grill, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in the fryer is either beef tallow or 0 acre fermented oil.
Oh, fermented oil.
Yeah.
And how does fermented oil work?
Basically, they feed the microorganism sugar and then they squeeze it, and that's how you produce the oil. So it's an all-natural process. It's not like the process of extracting from canola oil or rapeseed, which has to be heated to extreme temperatures, and then they put carcinogens in it, and just your whole body gets inflamed, and it stays in your gut for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you actually we were talking about the sun. You actually get sunburned as a result of consuming seed oils.
Really?
Like me, I don't even use any form of sunscreen. I think it's cancerous. There's a lot of studies that suggest it is.
Yeah, I've never used it either.
Yeah, you really don't need it. I mean, I understand some people are more sensitive to the sun, but think about our ancestors. Like they were in the sun all day, every day. They weren't having skin cancers and everything like that. There's actually an experiment where they took a group of monkeys. Group 1, they fed it a really highly processed diet with, seed oils and just artificials and everything like that, and put them in X amount of sun exposure. And then they took the second group of monkeys and they fed them a really seed oil free diet, very clean, very natural, and all the ones with the processed, highly artificial diet developed some form of skin cancer or some kind of serious skin issue. None of the other ones did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
That's insane.
I mean, I use tallow oil lotion. Like it's beef tallow oil, the fat from the animal with mango butter and coconut oil. And
Wait,
Wow.
beef oil lotion?
yeah, it's the
What's
the-
that?
That
So-
sounds fire. You send me the link to
Yeah.
that.
It sounds
company's
fire,
awesome.
John.
It's called-
I would wear that.
Yeah, it's called Based Balm. Actually, I use it like on my face, my beard.
Yeah.
It smells amazing, feels amazing.
Shout out to our sponsor today, AG1. Man, AG1's been a great product. Been using it for the past few months now. Used to have some constipation issues. It's helped my body feel a lot better. Every morning I wake up and it's a good start to the day, you know?
Yeah, same thing with me. I take AG1 in the mornings and at night before I go to bed, especially before working out, bro. It gives me all the nutrition that I actually need. I feel really, really good working out, clarity, energized. I mean, it just helps, and then it supports my immune system also.
Yeah, it's got 75 high quality vitamins. It's got probiotics. And honestly, it's pretty affordable. Less than $3 a day to use
Wow,
it.
less than $3 a day?
Yeah.
I actually like it way better than taking individual vitamins, just because, granted, I mean, who wants to take 20 pills? Rather just pour this in my water, shake it up, drink it, and get on the go.
Yeah, I used to take like 40 pills a day, but this makes it easy.
Yeah, for you, that's a lot, bro.
Yeah, so guys, if you're looking for a simpler, more effective investment for your health, try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/DSH. drinkag1.com/DSH. Link will be in the bio. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
And what's interesting is I used to use regular lotions, and I get the same exposure as I always did, and my skin always used to peel like days later. Never once.
Wow.
Never once.
I'm big on hemp lotion. I use hemp lotion.
Hemp is good too.
Yeah, I use hemp lotion.
Yeah, I like that.
It's fascinating just because your whole life we're taught that sun damage is caused from the sun,
Yeah.
but it's actually from seed oils.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's
what
a
are
big
the
contributor.
what are the worst seed oils for you?
Canola oil is probably Canola's the worst because it's
That's
really-
the first thing I grab when I walk in Walmart.
You serious?
really
Yeah, I grab
Why?
canola.
You
gotta stop that.
When I fry fish or whatever.
no. You can't. You can't. I mean, that's why there's an enormous level of disease in so many communities everywhere. It's like heart disease, diabetes, inflammation, cancer. It's
So
linked to these
what would
oils.
what would I fry fish in?
Butter. Get grass-fed butter, or extra virgin olive oil. But butter's better.
So fry fish in butter.
You talking about in the pan?
Like you dip the fish in like fry fish.
I would suggest
With batter on it. There's batter on it. You can't fry it in butter, can you?
You could cook it in butter if you really want like a solid amount of oil. I would try extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, extra virgin olive oil.
Or, and I'm not a super big fan of it, but avocado oil. But extra
Why?
virgin olive oil is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you like avocado oil?
It's at the end of the day, it's like not as healthy for you as extra virgin olive oil. Like the rank of what's best for you to cook in really is grass-fed butter and tallow. And
What's
then,
tallow?
Tallow is the animal fat. It's like the oil from the fat of the animal.
That's the ghee, right?
Yeah.
Do they actually sell that?
Well,
Yeah.
ghee is a kind of a derivative of butter, actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
where do they sell the animal fat at?
So, actually, Whole Foods has a brand. I think it's called Epic. It's grass-fed beef tallow. I use that at home to cook most of my stuff in, or grass-fed butter, which I get from a local farm that we use in our businesses.
Now, you had a cancer scare. Do you think that was caused from diet?
I think it could very well have been, to be honest. Look, I can't say for sure, right? Like, I mean, the type of cancer I had was insanely rare. It was in my tongue. I didn't even know that tongue cancer was a thing.
Yeah.
But it could very much have been attributed to it. I mean, they said, look, it seems like a case of bad luck. At your age, this typically never happens.
Yeah.
So that's why I take it more personal. I mean, that's why I'm wearing a shirt with Bill Gates getting pied in the face, because I think that there are a lot of people at the end of the day that are in charge of our food systems that are intentionally doing this to poison people. Very much so more in the U.S. than even anywhere else in the world. Like, you could go to Italy and eat pizza and pasta every single day and come back weighing less and feeling better. And I know people that this actually happens to. And I've been to Europe too, and I go to Greece, it's the same thing. And so, yeah, like, I believe overwhelmingly that food is the most important category in the world. Like, if rockets disappeared tomorrow, we'd be all right. Like, I'll make a deal with you. I'll give you each $10 billion. I'll pay for your flight travel to Mars. I'll give you everything you want, every car, everything you've ever wanted. You want to go? No, obviously not. We have Earth here. We have people that are hungry here, dying here, sick here. We have a lot of resources here. That this whole thing about we're going to run out of resources, no, it's way overblown. It's a fear tactic. So rockets disappear tomorrow, we're good. Electric cars disappear tomorrow, we have gas cars. Bridges disappear tomorrow. Infrastructure, we could sail boats. Food disappears tomorrow, everyone's dead. What's a more important category than food? You literally, it's been that way from the beginning of time and will be that way forever until the end of time.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's deep. And you also raised $7.6 million from the same investors in Elon's company, right?
So we raised $5 million. So in total, we've raised close to $10 million as a company. But $5 million of that came from Elon's investors. It's a group called GigaFund. They put over $1 billion into SpaceX.
Yeah.
And you know, that's kind of our master plan too. There's a lot of parallels to our business and Tesla and Elon's companies, but it's very important, you know, to have investors like that. I mean, they don't go near a company unless it's one of the most significant companies in the world.
Yeah. So how did you get on the radar?
I met him at a private ranch in Texas, actually. Yeah, and the owner of the private ranch is also an investor in the company. And yeah, it was at a time where everything was bootstrapped. We had one location for Ziki, had not really raised a lot of money, barely had any revenue, but he understood the vision and they got behind it. So very high conviction on their end. But yeah, 2 months later after meeting on the ranch, the deal was done.
Nice.
So
how many locations you guys trying to open up for Ziki?
thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah. So the food companies we've always had a parent company to support our multi-decade structure, right? So similar to like Whole Foods owns Amazon, right? And many other concepts. And the food company is the same way. The food company owns Ziki. And our next concept, you ready for it? It's called Big Pharma with an F. And these are basically farmers markets in pods. And you asked the question, where do I get this stuff? Where do I even get the tallow? These are going to basically be pods similar to the style of, you know, how Ziki pods look. But they'll have the best grass-fed butters, the best grass-fed meats, the best A2 and raw milks, the best cheeses, tallow-based skincare products, seed oil-free snacks. And we're going to scale from our gigafactory vision. This is a multi-decade conquest of what we're building. We're going to be raising lots of money. I mean, we're raising $15 million now.
So you guys are like Whole Foods on like steroids, like
exactly.
the
You know
real,
what's funny?
the real Whole Foods, like
What you just said.
Yeah.
Last week we had these farmers in our office. They're holy cow beef in Texas, and they're incredible people. And they do all like Angus grass-fed beef, but they said the same thing. I mean, they knew the founder of Whole Foods, John Mackey. He had a brilliant vision around agriculture and farming systems.
Yeah.
But Whole Foods today, post Bezos acquisition, is very different from what it was when John Mackey started it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really about amplifying farmers. And
well,
so,
they have to. Whole Foods and Sprouts can't be all about agriculture because they don't control the agriculture. Bezos and his crew does. Well, you know, the higher up. So it's like, you got to team in with this, or we'll just stop supply.
Exactly. Well, that's the relevant
We'll
thing.
buy
here,
all your farms. Yeah.
I mean, back to the shirt, right? Like Bill Gates is the largest farm landowner in the country.
Right.
And so the pitch deck for investors that we have, it opens up with the food company on the first page, and then the second page is very provocative. It says the Great Reset, where food is bugs, DNA is manipulated, pregnancy takes place in lab-grown artificial wombs, religion's banned, and Bill Gates owns all the farms, so all of your cattle is vaxxed. So it's basically like whether you want the vaccine or not, you're gonna take it indirectly anyway by consuming it.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is not a wild conspiracy. Like, I don't call them conspiracy theories anymore. They're conspiracy facts. This is happening. This is real. Like, people are telling you bugs are good for you. Robert Downey Jr. was on a podcast recently saying, like, he's on an all bug diet, and he's not looking too great, by the way.
You all bug.
Majority bug. He's really
Wait, when you say bug, like actual bugs?
bugs, yeah.
Like insects.
Insects.
Why is he eating insects?
Because it's people like the World Economic Forum and all the elites that are in charge of things that are really pushing.
They're trying to push that.
They're trying to push
So
that.
they want us eating bugs.
Well, think they want you eating bugs, but think about
You say, and he's not looking too good.
He's not, unfortunately. You know, the Department of Agriculture today just approved lab-grown chicken, and that's another thing
I've
too.
seen that. What's up with that?
It's look, I think there's they want to manipulate everything. They want to manipulate how you think. They want to manipulate what you see on TV. They want to manipulate your food. They want to.
Can they tell us? Do they have to tell us that it's lab grown?
Yeah.
Or no? They'll fine line it.
Well, that's a good point, right? Because that's a big thing about like the categorization of these products. You know, you could get meat from somewhere in Africa, somewhere in South America, at places like places like Argentina are known for having really good cattle, but other parts of the world they may not have the highest standard of agriculture. the second that meat comes and crosses the border, all they have to do is put a sticker on it that says product of USA, and they don't have to say where it actually came from. So how many touch points are there on that meat before it actually gets to your table?
Wow.
You know, and so that's very deceptive.
I also
marketing and
found out
branding.
that actually farm-raised farm-raised salmon is actually gray.
Gray?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
add color
dye it.
to make it
Right.
orange or salmon
Yeah,
colored.
so Trader Joe's actually you have to buy wild salmon because the salmon in the actual stores is actually pumped with dye, and the actual color of the salmon is gray
Why would they dye it?
because it's
because
not.
it's farm raised.
Yeah,
it should always be wild caught.
yeah,
Generally.
the
I mean,
color for the you're not gonna buy gray salmon.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you don't eat any farm raised, you eat
No,
all
not
wild.
not for fish. I mean, I rarely eat fish, to be honest with you. It's probably like 10% of what I consume, and generally, I'm always eating fruit and beef
Okay.
and chicken.
And how do you get good quality meat?
yeah.
We have good relationships. So, I mean, in the company, we have great relationships with farmers. That's a huge part
Oh,
of our
you're
business.
probably you're in Texas too.
Exactly. We're in
Yeah.
Texas. Our next market's Miami. Like, so they also have great agriculture. But we
There's
work
farms
with,
in Miami.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. well, in Florida overall. I mean, like the red states have really strong agriculture
Right.
and farms and systems set up for us. So they're going to be great launch pads for what we're doing across the Zeke and Big Pharma.
What are some restaurants that say they're healthy, but they're not?
I'm just going to grab this. Can I grab that drink real quick?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Restaurants that say they're healthy is an example like Sweet Green. So, you know, Sweet Green is like this healthy salads and everything like that. They are using seed oils in their dressings and other things on their menu. Chipotle, I love Chipotle. I think they're an incredible example of a fast casual that has crushed it. $57 billion company, 3,500 locations, all owned and operated by them.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And they also opened up an investment branch too, and they're ripping checks into other companies across agriculture, restaurants, and things like that. So,
Oh, nice.
you know, hats off to Chipotle, but I wish Chipotle was not cooking with seed oils because I would eat there way more often. I mean, at Zeke, we have people that come to us and say, I used to be a customer of Sweet Green, Cava, Chipotle. Now I eat at Zeke 6 times a week. We have customers that eat here 6 times a week.
Wait, so Zeke's isn't just a store, so it's a restaurant too?
Yeah, so Zeke is it's this basically. So on my phone, we build these from our factory. So those are the food pods. So we can
Wow.
manufacture a ton of those things,
Yeah.
and that's the grand vision is a gigafactory.
Yeah, I want to try
You
it.
guys can
Scaling
see it.
thousands of these pods everywhere
That's
across
sick.
farm pods and
Where do you guys
restaurant pods.
place them at? Like, where do you put them in parking lots?
They could be in parking lots. They could be in food parks. They could be outside of a hotel. They could be in college universities.
Wow.
That's sick.
So are you guys franchising this?
No.
You know, that's
So
sick.
you're doing the Chipotle model. You're
Yeah,
going.
we want to own and operate because you get to maintain the highest level of
So
quality.
festivals, you guys will be everywhere.
Well, they don't move around. Actually, we can move them. So
Oh, they're stationary.
they're stationary.
So you
Why?
just drop off, they have to stay there.
They don't have to stay there. I mean, but you want them to because you want consistency among your customer base. And why do you want to own and operate the units? Because you get to maintain the highest level of quality control. Like sometimes franchise owners, you know, there's a ton of problems
they'll
there.
change it, yeah.
And how many times is the ice cream machine in McDonald's broken, for example, right?
All the
like,
time.
yeah, there's a lot of them are franchise owners. So, I mean, even that's more complicated of a machine than say a fryer. But imagine when franchise owners start having to deal with automation and robots in their restaurants. How
Yeah.
are they going to deal with that? You know, so no, I'm not interested in franchising. And we don't like to move them because we want that consistency, but we can move them very easily. It takes one day and $1,000 all in.
It's not bad.
It's like the leanest model. I mean, imagine if a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks didn't work out.
Yeah.
What do? They have to vacate, right? Like, it's a huge loss.
Right.
For us, it's like one day, boom, we've done it. And it's been very successful, super flexible.
Now, the restaurant industry is known for having low margins. Does that
Yeah.
worry you?
No, it doesn't worry me. I mean, historically, well, from the standpoint of, look, I want restaurants to succeed, right? Like, I think what happened to restaurants during COVID was devastating. But it doesn't worry me. The average restaurant margin is between 5 and 6%.
Jeez, that's low.
Very low, razor thin margins all the time in the restaurant industry, and that's why so many of them failed, right? I mean, during COVID.
Yeah, but there's spoilage involved though, so you're constantly throwing away. You have to re-up like every 3-4 days.
Supply chain, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what it is. You have two big costs in restaurants.
Food.
It's food and labor.
Yeah, food and
So,
labor.
and those will kill you if they get out of control. Our margins are over 30%.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we have this factory. We build these units. They're very large. They're 256 square feet, full stack restaurants. Only difference is there's no dine-in experience. But typically to build one of those, it would cost anybody else like $350K, and we do it for between 50 and 90K.
Dang.
Yeah, and we could produce 20 of them a month today, and that's with that previous fundraising. Like, what happens when we raise the next round, which is going to be much
So if somebody wanted you to bring one here, they wouldn't own it. How would you would?
We would be set up here.
How could you collab with them? Like, y'all want to bring one here?
So, I mean, we're going to collab with them. Basically setting up a market for us is like, we have a commissary kitchen. So imagine in Austin, right? We opened up 10 Ziki pods in 7 months. Very fast. I mean,
Wow.
And again, like, you're talking about less than 90K to build and open one of these things, final cost. If Chipotle or Starbucks want to open up a single location, just to open the store, their average store cost is $1.2 to $2.7 million. Their payback period is anywhere from 15 months to 50 months.
Jeez.
In our case, it's like we open it for less than 90K, not 1.2 million or above. Our payback periods are less than 6 months. Our margins are 30%. They have 20 people staffed on an average shift. We have 2.
Oh, that's
So
it.
unit
Wow.
economics are unmatched, right?
How'd you guys get the margin so high?
Well, remember the 2 biggest costs are labor and food, right? So if
You guys are growing your own food, making your own food.
no, we're not doing that yet. We're partnering with the best people that are serving Earth's purest ingredients, aka the true grassroots farmers that we're amplifying. But in the future, we will have our own agriculture practices and farms.
So,
And
what are
stuff
some other ingredients outside of seed oils that people should avoid?
I think just across the board, like artificials, preservatives, highly processed items. Seed oils are the worst, though. They stand at the top. Like we're the antithesis of seed oils. Like, they're our arch nemesis. So, I mean, again, our mission is re-architecting the toxic food system. That involves rethinking and flipping the system on its head around ingredients, existing structures in place, and corruption. And there's much of all of those. You know, our system's contaminated. So,
Yeah, I noticed certain ingredients aren't banned here, but they are in other countries.
it's a great point. There's something in particular that one of the well-known ones is potassium bromate, and this is clearly cancerous. I mean, there's insane amounts of data, so much that China, India, and other countries, Europe, have it banned. It's like, why are we not banning potassium bromate? It's like, I'm not your bro, mate. You know, like, get out of here with that. We don't want that.
But look, let me ask you this: those places that you just named were which ones?
India, China, Europe.
Okay, do they have free healthcare?
Well, I'm on our healthcare system. I'm more so with a lot of the. I mean, look, when I went through the whole cancer situation, I realized the flaws in our healthcare system. You know, like.
But see, a lot of those countries that the reason why I'm saying that is because all those countries that ban different substances, chemicals, and things like that, it's not beneficial for them to have those things, because then that means an influx in patients and sicknesses. Here, we pay for our own health care. So the sicker we are, the more money they actually make.
Brilliant point, and you're spot on. You're so right about that. Big Pharma owns all the medicine, and they own all the food, pretty much, right? They're all interconnected, these systems and these agencies, with so much corruption. And that's a great point, because we're intentionally here designing food that makes people addicted to eating these things. And then you get sick, and then where do you go? You go to their medical centers that they're profiting from too. So it's this whole cycle of corruption that exists. And excellent point.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so when foods are banned, like foods and chemicals and different sodas and soft drinks and stuff, you want to look into those countries and see, do they provide free health care? Because if they do, then that's like my man was saying, is some other places the food is better, the quality of the food is better, because it's in their best interest to keep their society and their people healthy. Us, it's not in their best interest. They need us sick, bro. They need us sick. As sick as we
It's just
could
crazy,
possibly
because
be.
carcinogens are published online, and you can see the whole list, and they're just not banned in the U.S. Some of them.
Well,
No,
that's
because they
what
got to keep us sick, Sean. They need us to have cancer, bro.
That's what that when potassium bromate is a carcinogen, and there's 1,300 additives that are banned in Europe, and of the 1,300, 11 are banned in the United States.
That's a crazy
That's
ratio.
criminal.
Yeah.
That's criminal.
What is potassium bromate in? What foods have that?
Bread mainly.
Oh, bread.
Mainly in bread, but it's in over 100 products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in anything that requires a dye, right? Yeah, for the most part.
Oh, that's what gives it the color.
I believe so.
Well, it's a I think it might be a holder, some kind of
Binder.
Yeah, it's something having to do with that. Yeah, because it's in most products. If you look at it, it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to be the Tesla of the food industry. One of the things you pride yourself on is customer service. How do you provide a great experience to the customer?
I think you provide a great. Okay, so
And how are you going to survive?
We're not going to survive. We're going to thrive.
No, how are you guys actually going to be still living and breathing?
In what sense? That people are going to try and kill us?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I have Christ.
Huh?
I have Christ. I have faith. That's the number one thing. The number one value in the company is that we have faith.
Right.
That's the driving force behind the entire company vision. So, I openly speak about God in the company, and so does everybody else. This is a very, very important layer and shielded, protection for us. Jesus didn't come to bring a pillow; he came to bring a sword. That's what he says.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean, when you're pushing this, and I don't get me wrong, I love it. Like, because anytime we have guests on here, it changes us too. You know what I'm saying? The way that we look and eat. So my thing is, you're up against you're basically going head to head with Goliath at this point, right? Because you want to give health and they want to give sickness.
Then I'm David. It's
right.
like.
So how do you
Look, I mean, you're right. It's an increasingly dangerous endeavor, right?
Yeah. So how do you?
I have to walk in faith. Look at a guy like RFK, right? Why is he resonating so much with people, right? RFK is resonating on the right and the left. He's basically attracting all people on both sides of the spectrum. Why? He's speaking in truth. He's walking in truth, and he's exposing a lot of corruption. Very dangerous for a guy like that. And he's a lot of people know him and everything. He said the same thing. He's like, I'm very smart about it. I'm very careful about how I move and, the different moves that he takes. But I'm aware of the same thing, right? So I have to be surrounded by good people. I have to have my faith at the forefront, and then I have to make very smart, calculated moves to be able to do this in a way where we're actually going to accomplish what we've set out to do. So yeah. But I would prefer that that's the path, because that means that it's super significant to humanity, and it's actually making the world a better place. If it wasn't wildly dangerous, then how significant would it really be at the end of the day? Right. If I die behind this endeavor, then good. That's how I go out.
Yep.
Yeah, got you. I like that.
Well, back to the customer service. How are you providing better experience than like your Chipotle or Panera or something?
Okay, so I think it begins at the product level, right? So if you said you tied that into master plan of becoming the Tesla of food. Tesla's got an exceptional product. You get in the car, you just feel good.
It's
right?
an experience.
It's an experience. It's so simple. One mothership dashboard tablet that controls the whole functionality of the car. Simplicity. It's bright. The sunroof at the top, right? The skylight.
White seats.
Like
does that, yeah.
Exactly. And the whole experience, the acceleration, the music, the sound quality, the cameras. You have to create an exceptional product, right? That's what we've done at the food level. I think if you compare like our first creation, Ziki, right? Greek-Mexican fusion restaurant. Basically, this is where there's a similarity to Tesla. It's like at the simplest level, customer-facing level, what does Tesla do? They sell food. They sell cars, right? They sell cars. On the back end of Tesla, it's wildly complex. Gigafactory, autonomous, fully electric, thousands of engineers. It's super complex. But they sell cars. Ziki, it's like simplest customer-facing level, we sell food. Back end, wildly complex. Automation, we just acquired an entire team. We're building robots that make 300 rice bowls per hour.
Wow.
Tons of software. A factory as well where we're scaling out these food
300
pods.
rice bowls an hour?
Yeah. Team of 10. We just acquired 7 months.
So you guys are implementing AI and robots.
Yeah, exactly. So from the factory, we make those pods that I showed you on the phone. We're also building automation and robotics from there. So the robotics go in the pods.
Wow.
Insane.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But no one would know that. Like, that's all behind the scenes.
So
It's
will
all
you still
behind
have
the
people
scenes.
working in those pods though? Along with the robots?
Yes.
Okay.
But so the way I look at it is like, the food company in Ziki, it's an intelligent theater where humans and robots share the stage.
Gotcha.
I'm not some automation freak that wants to just completely wipe out humans. I love having humans around. I think it's a food business. People like that component.
Interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. So let them work together. So we'll reduce the labor for sure. There won't be as many, but there's definitely always going to be people.
Man, that's sick.
It's people, humanity first.
Yeah. Nick, what's next for you, man? What are you working on?
The big thing is really, I'm in full force fundraising mode. So we're raising 15 mil now, and that should be closed out pretty soon. And then setting up the Miami market.
What series are you guys in?
This is seed still.
Oh,
yeah. So this
okay.
is our stage ahead of the A, but we move so fast that you can't really compare us to a typical seed company because the size of our A is going to be the size of some companies C or D.
Right.
So
Because you already raised 10, now you're doing another 15.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So what's the goal? You want to grow it into a behemoth?
Yeah, exactly. The goal is, again, to re-architect the toxic system. It's to really spread awareness, but also offer these concepts at the most massive scale ever imaginable. Global scale, multi-decade conquest, like the next 30, 40, 50 years and so on, and really just make Earth's most pure ingredients accessible to every single human.
What are you offering in the seed round?
As far as?
Just anything.
Well, look,
equity, or is it-
it's going to be equity, yeah,
Equity.
of course, yeah. So, we're talking to several very large and aligned groups right now that
Gotcha.
can do enormous checks, and basically, we've also had some angels in the past few weeks come in and rip like $250 a piece, and a lot of people actually in crypto and Web3, and they love this anti-seed oil stuff. They're very aware because they're truth seekers, right? Like I'm the same way. It's not even Republican or Democrat Party. It's Truth Party.
Gotcha.
Now, there's a lot of these food companies that make healthy snacks, healthy products. Then they end up getting acquired by the big food companies, and then they change the ingredients.
Yeah.
Is that something that concerns you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have like really 10 companies that own all the food or snacks and products in grocery stores, like Kellogg's and General Mills and Heinz and Kraft. You'd be amazing. There's a graphic. Maybe we'll pop it up, but it's like it shows how those companies own hundreds of other companies underneath them, and they manipulate the ingredients. I mean, even if you look at a Heinz bottle from the U.S. versus a Heinz bottle in Canada, the one in Canada is just super natural and just like very healthy, and then here you've got the high fructose corn syrup and all the things that we should not be eating. So it concerns me, but it's we also will be acquiring many companies and many products as we scale, but we'll never manipulate it to what they're doing. We'll actually bring it to its greatest form of truth and vitality for humans.
That's awesome. Yeah, they do that with dog food too. Remember the last guy?
Yeah, they do it. They kind of do it with everything.
Yeah,
They even want our dogs sick, bro. That's
To keep us sick, bro. The goal is to keep us sick. So
it is.
they'll get him out. They want to get him out the game because he'll have obviously market share.
Well, the market's changing. Chipotle announced they're not using seed oils anymore next year, right?
Yeah, next year they still got 6 more months.
I don't know that they fully announced that they won't be using seed oils. I know that they did an investment in Zero Acre, which is the fermented oil that we use.
Yeah.
We're Zero Acre's fastest and largest growing customer, but it's a great product, and I know that Chipotle is leaning into that. So I don't know though that they fully said no seed oils. If they have, incredible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, man. Any closing comments?
No, just glad to be here. Good to be in Vegas, and glad to that you guys are aware of this stuff, and thank you for providing a platform where we can let everybody know.
Thank you for coming in, bro. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you both.
man.
That's right.
Thank you.
All right, Digital Social Hour. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next time.
Peace.